you can't say we've done all this without them going, there's still work to be done.
Right.
Yeah, adults assumed that before the conversation started.
Right.
That's why you're not adults, and you're so fucking tedious.
Right.
Because adults assume things, the nuance part of it, that doesn't have to, but you saintly people have to hear it out. Okay, yes, of course, we get it.
Bill Maher brought on this woke idiot onto his show, the Club Random podcast, and Bill Maher had to shut this guy down for how ridiculous he was getting about a certain topic surrounding racism. Bill Maher just had to call him out for how ridiculous the woke left has gotten and how brainwashed these people are into thinking that the racism problem is still super prominent in America. And Bill Maher just absolutely shut this guy down. Very surprising to me that he would shut someone down on this topic, but it does seem like Bill Maher is somewhat turning over a new leaf when it comes to a lot of these woke issues. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher shuts down this woke idiot, Andrew Sullivan, here on the Club Random podcast.
Guys,
I read your column recently, and you were quoting a stat about London, which resonated with me because I've sort of said the same thing in a different way anecdotally, that the first time I went to London was 1984, and it was a completely white city. And then I went back, and I think, I don't know, but the last time I was there, it looked like New York, which I'm saying happily, celebrating that. But you were making the point that I think the stat was like it went from in 50 years.
The people, you could be happy about that. Bill Maher can be happy about that. The people of London are not happy about that. Okay, they're not.
It's from 86% white to 36 or
39, yeah.
Okay, so
in 50 years.
And your point, one I'm often making also, is like, just don't gaslight me. Don't be like the world is irredeemably racist or it can't change, because we have the statistics. It can. We're not people who should be deprived of the joy of celebrating our progress. And, you know, but they equate it with, you can't say we've done all this without them going, there's still work to be done.
Right.
Yeah, adults assumed that before the conversation started. That's why you're not adults, and you're so fucking tedious.
Right.
Because adults assume things, the nuance part of it, that doesn't have to, but you saintly people have to hear it out. Okay, yes, of course, we get it.
It's fucking amazing, the things that happen today that we take for granted, and all they complain about. I mean, again, this is like, where was I going with that?
But I mean, London to go, but just let me pause.
But yes, and also, and by
to go from
large,
86% to
39%.
To 39%, it's like, don't tell me things don't change.
And
yes.
Show me the white supremacist marches. Show me the other part of this is, look, to me, it's, look, your regular English people, traditional people out in the countryside, out in the small towns, and some of the old Londoners, they're going to find this kind of weird. They're going to be absolutely find this a little bewildering. You know, they're going to find this a little hard to take in, and they're going to have reactions to it.
That London looks so diverse?
Suddenly, like,
of course,
or that it's so rich, or that it's...
The people you could be happy about that, Bill Maher can be happy about that. Bill Maher can be happy about that. I actually agree. With Bill Maher, there's been real progress on race issues, and no one should be discriminated against, period. That includes white people, black people, Asians, everyone. Discrimination in any direction is wrong, whether it's college admissions, job opportunities, or anything else. But even with progress, we have to acknowledge human nature. People are naturally tribal. That doesn't mean hateful or racist. It just means we tend to stick with those who share our background, culture, or language. You see it even in school lunchrooms where kids naturally group by familiarity. It's not forced. It just happens.
Go to London, it was a totally different city when I left it. Now I feel like I'm going to an American blue city. I have the same facilities. I have the same
of course,
options.
in the march of human history, down the road of progress, there are always going to be stragglers. There are stragglers in this country. Yes, stragglers by the millions.
Okay.
The point is, exactly, you can't just stop every set of ideas that doesn't make you go, there's more work to be done.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge.
They won't actually celebrate.
The stragglers don't have power anymore.
They don't, by and large, but also my feeling is...
And they're not popular. It's not popular to be racist.
It isn't.
So, like, yes, is there work to be done? And then you've also written about this. I love the kind of like attitude that some wokesters have about, well, if only the older white people would die. Like, you're perfect at handling the world. I'm sure, darling. You'd like this, hurry up, die. I think you wrote that, hurry up and die. It's like, what a terrible attitude to have. I know. Even with people, and people essentially on your side politically, even, but also, of course, the Trumpsters. If they would just die, then things would be perfect, because
again, do they hear themselves?
If you enjoy content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Hear themselves, the way they talk about large groups of people. My feeling is, look, in all of human history, the vast majority of it, like think of England. This is another stat. In 2015 alone, more people net migrated into the United Kingdom than all the people that migrated into the United Kingdom from 1066 to 1950.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
2015. Okay.
The pace of this is unprecedented in human history. Now, America's different. America's always had this massive amounts of new people coming in New York.
Right.
The fact that London one goes to a little island the rainy island off the top across the view to seek their fortune. Some people did from the Commonwealth and elsewhere, but no, people left those islands by and large. And the people that stayed there had such an incredibly homogeneous, even genetically. They're in an island. They're cut off. Suddenly, their whole world is revolutionized.
Right.
Of course, you're going to have people who are going to feel upset and confused and feel like they're losing a sense of their country and who is this and whatever. And the worst thing my brother said this to me about London once we were talking. I'm going to London for the weekend. He said, "Well, it's not our capital anymore, is it?"
Oh. Yeah, I mean,
he didn't mean it racially.
No,
honestly.
And that's
he did not mean it that way.
That's the nuance that they refuse to see or understand.
It's not like the English have go there.
The same thing plays out on a larger scale, like in London, where the population dramatically shifted in a few decades. That kind of cultural change can make longtime residents feel disconnected in their own city. It's not about hating others. It's about losing a familiar way of life. Bill Maher's point is valid. There's always going to be work to do, but pretending that tribal instincts don't exist is unrealistic. We don't have to turn this into something hateful. We just need to accept that humans are wired this way and learn how to live with it peacefully instead of demonizing it. So let me know. Do you agree with Maher that we've made progress and need to stop pretending tribal instincts are evil? Or do you think we should keep pushing for something more idealistic? Some people bring up race in ways that aren't necessarily hateful, just uncomfortable to talk about. And that's the issue. The idea of preserving culture or communities often gets labeled as racist, even if it's not about hate, but about cultural identity and change. For example, when immigration shifts a city's demographic drastically, like London going from 90% white to 35%, it's natural for people to feel like their familiar culture is disappearing. That's not about rejecting other races, it's about struggling to adapt to a new way of life. Bill Maher called this out on the Club Random podcast, pushing back on the idea that modern-day racism is as extreme as it's portrayed. He shut down a guest who was overhyping the issue, and it was refreshing to see someone speak plainly. Let me know in the comments, do you agree with Maher or think racism is still a major modern-day issue?